Porting heads. So I have a way that I've developed to port heads, and this may be set up for more the novice, the person who's getting into it, or the mediate. But anybody who wants to learn a new way or get some new tricks, I think this video is for you. Okay, so I've mostly worked with Mopars, ported a number of heads, not too many, but the Magnums are my favorite right now because they're just cheap and available. If you make a mistake, you just go out and get another one. They're all exactly the same. I like that. I ported some 440s. Anyway, I'm not like an extensive porter or anything like that. But I'm going to show you what I do. Okay, and I'm going to show you a couple things that you might want to think about and maybe avoid. Okay, so here's the thing. So most people get this gun right here. Can you see that? Okay, they get this one from Harbor Freight. Now that is a pretty fast working machine, and the dangers of that one is if you work the bowls and stuff like that, you can start working it and it'll bounce around like a pinball machine, especially when this machine is brand new. If you get it brand new, it's really, really fast. So if you're not used to that, you may want to, and I think I did ping this one. I mean, I broke this tool. This is broken, and I think it was on this head, but you can wipe out your tool bit, you can wipe out your work, and it's not so good. Now, I'm not really showing this off. This is the first time I've really tried to work this area. So we're talking about the inside, the bowls, the ports, and stuff like that. I'll get to this at the end of the video. This is kind of sloppy, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So what I do, now give me a second. I much prefer the drill. Okay? Why? Why is this good? Because you can get it slow, you can get it fast. Now, if you watch David Vizard, who, Vizard sounds like wizard. He's a wizard with what he does. He's the best in his field. I mean, David Vizard's the best. He will work with pneumatics. And he also works with sandpaper discs. The first time I did it, I used sandpaper discs and I used a drill. So I was kind of doing the same type of thing he was. There's a couple things I don't like about sandpaper discs. Okay, I prefer this bit right here. This is my bit, okay? But I use them all. I got this little one. I got a couple that I've broken. Sometimes I'll use this because you can't get to certain spaces and I just want to rough up the edge. So literally, I'll just use that. And let's see. What I like about the drill is that I can use that. Okay? I can use that, and you do not want to use this bit with that machine. But you can get in there, and you can get really far and get all those spots. So, the crappy thing about working with the sandpaper discs are that you not only have fine, pasty iron floating around, which will get in your lungs and everything, but you also have the sandpaper material. And that, the first time I did it, I literally worked in a garage in an enclosed area, and it took me forever. I mean, I must have had so much iron in my lungs by the time I was done, but I was happy. I mean, it was fun. I had some 516 440 heads, and I was just porting the hell out of them. I was having a great time. So what I would really do is, if I was trying to get power, which I'm really not, I'm just trying to port them just for fun, and my power points are low, so I'm not too worried about power. What I would do is I would use this regular old bit for intake, because I actually didn't like about the sandpaper discs is that the intake was actually a little too smooth. But there's benefits to using those. And then I would use the sandpaper discs on the exhaust, because the exhaust you want real nice and slick. Okay. David Vizard, one good thing about using sandpaper discs is that you can really control the contours. So let's say you wanted a little bit of a bump or something like that to push, so he finds out that, oh no, you need to push it this way, so you want the little bump or something like that. If by minute changes, the disc is the one you use, the sandpaper discs, because you can really get in there, and the pneumatics can go slow, they can go fast. That is really good. Okay, but for us, I like the fact that I've had, where are you? I've had this bit for 14 years. I bought a good bit. This was like $40 back in 2000 and I'd say 9. Probably making them better back then. Still got it. Okay, so let's just get into some stuff here. When do you want to use the fast one, and when do you want to use a slow one? Okay, so now these Magnum heads, this is sloppy. I know, it kind of looks like the bridge of my nose. I got a fucked up nose. I'll make a video about my nose sometime. Anyway, this is difficult on the Magnums because they're always a little off, and any porting you do on these is going to be kind of a little bit of a disaster. This one's better. I would use this fast one in this area just to get a nice quick shape. Like you can just shape just the surrounding. And then what you should do is you should make it smaller than you want, and then put a chamfer all around it. But you know, like I say, I'm not trying to win races, okay? And then I think you do like the hard work. Like this can take forever, you know. So you do a lot of the fast work with this. But then you want to go back and you want to use this. And you can really get in. Okay, these are the intakes. Now you can really get in and get this stuff kind of rough, but also smooth like what you want it. And it's better. You get a better result with the slow drill. Just ask David Vizard, because he can use whatever he wants. And he decides to use a pneumatic tool that allows him to change RPMs, okay? And then you can see, on this set of heads in particular, I kind of really went all out with it. I tried to go a little bit more than I've ever gone before. I was measuring here. I actually tried to get in and dip in here because there's just space to be had. So I really got these thin. I mean, I really got them thin. I kind of went overboard, to be honest with you. And then here's what I like doing, okay? Now, I don't necessarily recommend this on every head you do, but I've done, I'm going to say, I don't know, half a dozen of these heads. It's hard to say. Plus, I'm counting all the 6-cylinders I've done too. 6-cylinder is fun. I don't care what everybody says. The 3.9 can make some power, and it surprises you. Okay, it's fun. Anyway, I'm pretty much done with these. They look a little sloppy right here, but you know, it's like I'm kind of done with them. I might go back in and clean them up if I really want to, but this is smooth enough for the intake, and especially if I use the Kager on this engine, it doesn't matter, okay? But what you do is I use this tool, which I'm going to say that's got to be 1/2 inch or something like that. I don't know what this is, 3/4, yeah, probably 1/2 inch. And you take the tool that you want to use and contour the bowl to your tool, okay? This, I took a lot of material out. Just laying into it with a slow drill until this is the contour of the tool bit. And that's what I do with these heads. And I've never run into any problems with the jackets. I've never run into a thin one. They're always fine. So I know that I can do it. And here's an exhaust. Look at that exhaust. I just went right around and contoured this to my tool bit. And I did this to my Durango. And it gets great gas mileage. I mean, it gets great gas mileage. it's all original stock and everything. Well, not really, but it's all stock parts. And the gas mileage is pretty impressive for what you can do. And then this one I'm trying to lighten up. I'm still trying to lighten it up because I lightened up my 440 heads, and damn, I got a lot of weight out of them. It was surprising. Anyway, look at this. Now I have some shorty headers that are going to go on this thing. I think. Anyway, so I ended up just taking this all the way out because my headers have a really big, giant opening, so I can get as much as I want. But that looks pretty good if you're going to ask me. You know, I've actually thought about buying some of these heads and porting them and just seeing how much I can get for them. You know, on like on the market, you know, like whatever. So here's the other thing I've done with this one. I made a lot of mistakes, so it needs to be surfaced because this machine got away from me quite a lot. And I've never done the combustion chamber before. So I got a lot of problems with, I got really thin around the spark plugs. I'm still going to use these heads. I don't care because I'm not making a whole lot of compression. I'm not making a whole lot of horsepower. So these have got to be smoothed off. I'm just going to get a stone and stone them down. And then next time I do this, I'm going to be very careful around this area. And I'm not going. I was actually watching David Fizzard's channel, and he's the reason why I did this. Okay. Anyway, so now I don't know nothing about porting heads except for what I think should happen. So here is a 318 gasket. Now, you can see that when I was de-shrouding the valves, I went over that. And I did it on purpose. Now, I have a 360. So these could go on a 360, these heads. And, but the idea of de-shrouding the valve just really interested me. Okay? So I de-shrouded them the way I think it should happen. So I'm going to be using, even on my 318, I'm going to be using some 5.9 head gaskets. So I really got these all the way out. And I don't know. I guess I'm going for high RPMs. I don't know what's going on here. But it should flow like pretty good. And then I'm going to do another thing about what I do with the valves. The valves are extremely simple. Okay, this is low tech. I'm going to pause it for a second and do something. Hold on. Okay, so I'm back. I'm glad this ain't a cooking show because I forgot to prepare ahead. Okay, the heads have the valves in them. Okay, so this is the 5.9. So basically what I did was I just, on this one, I like using the dirt. So I just took it down to the edge here without marking anything. And you can kind of judge where it's going to end up. But I have plenty of room past that line. But if you just get on that line. So what's going to happen here on a 318 is basically, this is probably going to overhang the cylinder a tiny bit. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's probably not so good, but the cylinder does have a little chamfer on it. See, the cylinder has a little bit of a chamfer. I mean, it's round right there. So I don't care if it's what people do or if it's not what people do. That's what I'm going to do. So this is just a little bit over, and this is really, like you can see here, dirty, but you can see how close. And right there. And then this one is a lot more. You see that? And then this one is really, and I left a valve in when I cut this. So that's basically I think all I can show you in this video. The parts that I want to talk about here the most are using your tools. This is for fast work. If you use this in the bowl like this, you might bounce it. And it's going to be like a pinball machine. That's what happened to this tool. And then you get that nice and smooth. And basically, you know, a lot of people will leave a little bump here, kind of like a venturi. It kind of like forces the air. It's like the smaller the opening, the quicker the air will, kind of like a carburetor works, you know. That's great if you know what you're doing. I cut it out. Okay. That's what I did actually in my first set of heads, because I was not confident enough to really get down to the line. If you see this, that's down to the line. Okay, that's on the line. And I've done this before on these heads, and they last in service a long time. Okay, that's pretty much straight. So I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about. Okay, so you can see this. You can see how much room I have. Especially in the exhaust. You see that room I have? That's nice, right? I mean, I think it's a pretty big improvement over this one. It's hard to see. See that? And then this one. Got a lot of room there. So this is kind of an experiment for me, and I kind of just, you know, cut it out here a little bit. I mean, I think that these Magnums are great, and what's lucky for us right now is that they're everywhere. And when you find a Magnum, it's the same engine. You can find it in a van, a Ram, a Dakota, a Durango. They're all the same. I mean, it kind of makes it boring. It'd be cool if the RT was, you know, better. Yeah, they have RT heads that are different, but you actually had to buy them from Mopar parts, you know, and then they weren't the same thing. But if you just get an RT, like, it's funny, in the junkyards. Hello. In the junkyards, I always see RTs. And I go for the rims. That's what I go for. Because the rims are hard to find. And they're like only like, you know, bad tire, $25 for a rim, you know. But some people go for the engines. And I'm always like, why did you go for the engine? That's the RT. It's the same engine as in that other one. And that other one isn't beat to shit. Like they didn't drive it into the ground, you know. And why would you want the engine out of an RT? It's probably just all wore out. But it's the same engine. It's the same engine. But these Magnums, even if they're old, they really have like no ridge on them and stuff. Anyway, I keep on going out of topic. So this is it. That's the video for today. Thank you for subscribing. If you subscribed, if I'm under 1,000 subscribers, please subscribe. And if you like Magnums, I'm going to try to do some more Magnum stuff. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.